my name is Christy Williams. I'm a special education teacher and I have some tips to share with you. So usually when students come into school, we start off with breakfast and we have announcements and everything like that. Then we follow our routine. Our routine is usually, for my classroom, we follow a calendar schedule. We like to do calendar, then we begin with instruction. I start off with the fun things and then we get into instruction just to make it simple for the kids and to wake them up a little bit. But then we get to instruction, the hard part, the part that they may not like. But in my classroom is a self-contained classroom, and we like to take brain breaks. So that's fun for the kids as well. So they look forward to their brain breaks. We do have lunch in the middle of the day, and after lunch we like to try to get them up again, because after lunch, of course, we're all a little sleepy. So we have another brain break and just time to actually stretch, get out. So we spend time in the gym in my classroom. At the end of the day, we try to do independent work. We allow the kids to, we get out of their faces a little bit. And we also, this is a time where we do data as well. So after that, it's almost time for home. We have a snack and that's it. So first, we have, remember, as parents, as teachers, we are all a part of a team. We have speech therapists, occupational therapists, and any other service that your child may receive in school. They come at some point to get your child. So there's a routine we follow. For my students, on Mondays, we have OT as a whole class. The occupational therapist comes in and she services the students with me. So we have that service as a whole group. For speech, we see her on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and depending on the student and their service, she will pull them out of class. Some students she sees in class, but that's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It depends on their IEP. It depends on, and in your IEP you can find out everything pretty much that you want to know about your child. Remember, special education is a service. It's not just a classroom. The person that's serving your child is the teacher, the occupational therapist, the speech therapist. We are all here to serve your child. The classroom is a placement. It's also where your child will be served, which is the self-contained, the separate school. Everything that you want to know about your child's education will be placed in their IEP. So as far as what they do, the data, each teacher has a set time or schedule, which again, going back to the routine, they follow their schedule to take IEP data. And the amount of time a child receives depends on that child. If your child is more dependent and requires prompts, they will probably have more time to have IEP data taken than other students. Independent time, we try to see what the child can do, and then we step in before we allow them to have prompts or help them. So, of course, every year we go over new IEP goals. We decide to keep them the same, and the data is what determines whether an IEP goal will stay the same or change. It's up to the teacher to, once a student masters the IEP goals, to change that goal. And of course, a meeting has to be held to change anything in the IEP. The best time to communicate with your child's teacher it depends on the teacher, honestly. If your child rides the bus, first you have to meet your child's teacher. The beginning of the year, usually schools have open house. Even if that's virtual, that's the time to meet your teacher. And at that time, usually we have like an introduction letter where we give our communication methods and what we require from parents. So your teacher should let you know when and how to communicate with them. But so first, meet your child's teacher and know who they are, and find out how they want to communicate. Next, once your child gets on the bus, if you have to communicate with your child's teacher, we have class apps like Class Dojo and Remind, where you can send messages directly to your child's teacher. Email, if you have a long, detailed message that you want to deliver to your child's teacher, or something that you just want to have in writing, you should email your child's teacher. Agendas are daily communicators that we send back and forth every day, where your child's teacher lets you know what's going on with your child. And you can send messages that way. I personally have a Google Voice number that I share with my parents, where I can communicate with them and they can communicate with me. Some teachers also have classroom phones, where you can give them a call or be transferred from the office. But if it's a really urgent matter and you can't get in touch with your child's teacher, you should leave a message with the office. Your teacher should probably give you a call back at least by their planning period. And you should know what this is from the open house. They should maybe tell you when their planning period is and when the best time is to communicate with them. I would say no more than 24 hours. If it's a weekend, 24 business hours. But if it's something urgent and you haven't heard from your child's teacher, I personally, as a parent, have contacted assistant principals and principals to let them know, hey, I haven't gotten a response from my child's teacher yet, and this is something that's concerning me. Remember, everything changes from school to school, from teacher to teacher, but the best way to figure out what your child is doing in the classroom on a daily basis is to ask your teacher, to communicate with your child's teacher. And there are different ways that you can communicate with your child's teacher. Don't forget, parent-teacher conferences are another good way to communicate with your child's teacher and find out what is going on in the classroom. This is also where your child's teacher will share data with you and information that they have found in the classroom. Also, don't forget to ask your teacher, your student's teacher, your child's teacher, when it's best to communicate with them and what method to communicate with them. And that's all I have for today. Stay tuned.